Hello, everybody. It's Kittens here from that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a slice of life. And I'm here with Molly. Say hi, Molly.
Ayo.
And we're going to be talking through Melodifestivalen 2026. So, we're going to talk through and recap what's happened over the last 6 weeks of the competition. We're going to be talking through some of the songs, some of our favorites. We're going to be talking about the winner and how we think it might do in some other contest that's coming up in a few months. And we'll see how we go. So, firstly, Molly, let's talk about the show overall. What did you think
Mm.
of the show overall? The presenters, the staging, the everything that isn't the songs.
Yeah. I feel like generally Mello have been really good at hosting stuff. They've always sort of been a standout for me when it comes to really good hosts and like the staging. It's just I think they've got a really good I don't like to say formula, but formula going, and this is definitely one of my favorite like mellows that I've seen when it comes to that. The interval stuff was really good. I think overall it was just phenomenal. Gina Duarte and what was the name of the other host?
Hampus Nesvold.
Hampus Nesvold were both really good. And to be honest, I think I'd be so happy seeing that duo back in the future, or for subsequent ones because they bounced off each other really, really well.
Yeah. And you've said the word interval, and I want to cut straight in there and talk about one specific interval. One specific interval that made Molly explode with joy. Do you want to talk about Mellow Baddie?
It was so good. Charlotte Pirelli, man, she's redeemed herself. So honestly, that was it. It was very much like I think a parody of like the Charlie XCX sort of style, but it's just it worked so well. I love it. I think we've got a trend of this mellow of like a sort of EDM kind of thing going with the lighting and everything. I loved it. It was just so cool. And I've had it, it's been a staple on my playlist for a while now.
Like the minute I heard it, I was like, Molly is going to go unhinged about
Like send it
this.
now.
And I was so right, right?
Yeah.
Like, I do have to agree. I do think Hampus and Gina with a G were brilliant throughout this. I think it
Mm.
was just they were such a great pair on stage. I do think well, I mean, Hampus is a bit more of a character personality. Obviously, we saw with all the like VTs of him doing the characters, essentially.
Mm.
Um, but I still think that they came together so well. And they just seemed like they were having a good time. And, I think that does make a lot of difference to it. Um, I didn't really miss the writing of Edward of Sillin. I know a lot has been said about the writing in Mellow this year. And a lot of people saying, "Oh, you need Edward of Sillin back." And obviously, we had Edward of Sillin in the songs, which we'll get onto in a minute. But I do think we just had a lovely mix of nostalgia, in jokes, funny stuff. Obviously, we had Therese and Kassan. There was just so much going on in this, and I really think they made the most of it. And like in the
Mm.
final, to have the kind of takedown of all the criticisms that they'd
Yeah.
received throughout the year as well. I kind of just felt like, you know what, do it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna mention one interval as well. The interval in the final, the Kai trios interval.
Mm.
The EMD interval, my little heart was just
It
like,
was so fun.
oh. It was so fun. I wasn't sure what Kai were gonna do,
Yeah.
considering they had done their bit in Car as well. And I was like, well, what are they gonna do in Mellow? Are they just gonna come on,
Mm.
perform their song, and leave? I was like, that doesn't feel very Kai, you
Yeah.
know? But to have that, and obviously Kai are comedy, that's the kind of their thing.
Mm.
And I still just the withering look over of Jakob's like view when EMD take off the towels, and you're just sitting there going, "Oh my God,
He's
dude."
just like, what?
I was like, "Are you okay, hon?" He's just like, "Ugh."
It's like, oh, help.
But just brilliant, just brilliant. But yeah, no, I think they did really well. Nana Grandval as well. Oh, that's just fun, isn't it? You can't be mad about
Mm.
that. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I there was a lot of fun this year. There was a lot of joy this year, and people saying, "Oh, the writing's bad" or whatever. Actually, no, I think it was great fun.
I think a lot of people are ragging on Mellow this year because it's not typical. It's very different from what usually Mellow do. So like sometimes when there's a change in things, it's like, oh, we don't like it. But sometimes I really think this Mellow is quite fresh, and there's some new things that I think were really nice that I really liked in a whole. So. I can understand that they're sort of experimenting a little bit on their formula, which I think is really nice, especially coming off of Mellow last year. We're getting a little bit more of that sort of fun kind of. I'm not saying it wasn't there, but the fun is kind of being brought back into Mellow in that sort of sense, and I like the campiness a little bit, and I enjoy that.
I also just think the humor was better.
Mm,
I think there was a lot less punching down than there has been. So I just
yeah.
think, like, admittedly, this is what my fifth, sixth year of watching Mellow. I am finally beginning to get jokes in Swedish.
Yeah.
Maybe that is just because I'm now more attuned to it, but
Mm.
still, I do think it was just funnier.
Yeah, no.
But
I think
yeah.
even as someone who didn't understand Swedish, I kind of really enjoyed what was there with Mello. I got some of the jokes, and I think it was quite nice. It was all, of course, it was very well presented. This is SVT. They're going to come
Mm.
in with, the bang, but I think it felt unique. It felt like, Mello being Mello, like,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
And a little shout out as well to the change in the stage. I
Mm.
really like the new stage. Um,
Yeah, no.
I really like that even in the final there's more like levels and stuff in the arena on the
Yeah, no.
floor as well. There was
Mm.
so much being used there that we had the same stage for something like what, 5 years or something. I don't know
Yeah.
the right answer, don't shoot me. But we'd had
No,
the
so,
same stage for a long time. I think it well deserved the freshen up, and
mm.
I would have liked to see more artists use the catwalk and be
Oh yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
But I think, hopefully we'll see a bit more of that next year. Right, should we talk about
Yeah.
some songs?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's talk about some songs. So we have 30 songs. So let's try, and we'll talk about the winner separately. So we'll get there in a minute.
Mm.
Just pick one or two songs, Molly, that stood out to you this year. I know one or two is a
Oh,
is very small number.
people are gonna throw me over the coals for this one. I do have my criticisms, but just said that like I said, the use of the staging, I love the use of staging in this one. How there were in sections she was able to use sort of like the smaller, and how she incorporated a lot of that into the song as well, and the choreo. It just all came together so nicely. Um, and I think, oh, what's it? There was. Sarah. Oh gosh, I'm gonna try and mm, I liked Saga Lovidson as well with Ain't Today. It was quite fresh in the mellow lineup, and it felt like it's nice to get that song that is like different amongst everything else, and it felt like so country and like in its roots. Like I can imagine like Lime dancing to it. It was just I loved it so much, and the staging was so simple. It worked really well. Um, and what was the other one? Uh, there was oh, I'm sorry. Sanna Nielsen, Waste Your Love.
What a queen. I love
It's
her.
so good. I loved it. Of course, I do. I will always adore Undo, but this is such a good comeback for her. And I'm so glad she made it to the final. Her voice was it was just fun. It was a load of fun. Like,
I mean, I feel like with Sanna Nielsen, because she's such an established artist that she makes it look really easy. I'm sure it's probably
yeah.
not really easy, but it looks like
Mm,
she could have just rolled out of bed, got up on stage, and gone, "Yep."
yeah.
And
No.
she just makes it look so simple.
Oh,
I love
100%.
that for her. I just, yeah, I did not enjoy Undo. I'm not a ballads person. I'm
Mm,
really not that kind of person. And I thought this was a really lovely kind of more modern take on Schlager
yeah.
than we normally get. We normally get quite kind of traditional Schlager. So to get something that is a little bit more modern, and my brain
Yeah.
was like, this is kind of like Jessie Ware in the UK. You've got kind of
Yes.
like,
Mm,
I don't mean any shade by this, an older lady, so
yeah.
not a 16-year-old, who is just going out on stage and just being like, this is mine. I'm here.
Yeah.
Listen. And I love that. I love that
Mm.
so much. It was just beautiful.
I kind
Um,
of like when, oh, sorry.
no, no, go on.
I I do agree with you on that. I love when you get to see national final artists who have either been there for a while, they've done a couple of entries, or they've been to Eurovision before and they're coming back. They're just there to just have fun. Like they're like, you know what? I don't care if I win, what place I do, whatever. I'm just gonna wing it, have fun, enjoy myself. And yeah, and I love that, and I definitely saw that within Sana and Waste Your Love, that sort of energy, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I am gonna pick out. See, now, I'm gonna pick out for comment two that were in the same heat, actually. Um, Arwen. My boy
Mm,
Arwen, like everybody knows that I am a big fan of Arwen. I've been a big fan of him for a long time now.
mm,
Um, and pre-Mellow. And
yeah.
I was just very taken by Glitter. I
Mm,
like I think it was very much a victim of the heat. I called it
yeah.
immediately once the heats were like even before I heard Glitter, before I heard any of the songs, I was like, Arwen's gonna suffer in that heat. Because when
Yeah.
you're up against like the heavyweights, I was like, this isn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I have enjoyed seeing him essentially living his best life over the last few weeks. Um, he has been everywhere. Um,
Mm,
and I just think he's a good lad. I'll be excited to hear more music from him. I think he is a real little talent, and if he'll go away, release new music, and he'll come back either to Mellow or he'll be too big for Mellow, and that'll be lovely.
yeah.
The other song I want to talk about is Rockdini Elden by Bränsta City
Mm,
Släckers because
yes.
I just think this was such a moment. I didn't know what you could do to follow. I mean, I know Bränsta City Släckers have been going for years and they're not just Komma Meg. It's because, I know they've been doing this for a long time, but Komma Meg is the song that gave them that recognition, and what was it, 19 weeks at the top of the Swedish chart or something like that.
Mm,
And then you've got to come back to Mellow. And I was like, what, how is this gonna, like, these guys are gonna be iconic.
mm.
Selling into
Yes.
another song. But how is it gonna work? And I was just so happy. Honestly,
Mm,
I just thought it was so much fun. We still had the hand clap thing. We still had them just like all the energy, and they just seemed like a delight for the entire situation. Like even when one of them was sick as hell in the final and
mm,
had to be wheelchaired in and all sorts of stuff like that, they just seemed to be having a good time. I'm also going to pick out Viva l'Amour.
yeah.
Um, I know I kind of knew this wasn't going to be their year
Mm,
anyway. I would love to see a good life for this song post contest.
yeah.
I think it feels very important, and a very important message in the current times as well.
Mm,
I want the world for Medina. They seem like the best
yeah.
dude, and I really, really wish that that they will win Mellow one year. Um,
Yeah.
because I just, and they are guys who don't shy away from being in Swedish either, which is a lovely thing to see. They are communicating whatever the
Mm,
language is, and we'll just go along with it. And
yeah, no, 100%.
I'm just gonna sneak one more song in there.
Go
Eternity
ahead.
by Kimberly,
Yes.
because this
Mm,
surprised me so much. I was expecting kind of,
mm.
oh, she's been on Idol, they're gonna give her something boring. My God, this was
It
brilliant.
was really good. Yeah.
Really good. I was so glad to see it, and I love her. I think she's a great personality, great charisma on stage. I just think it went really well. And, Mellow debut, she'll be back. She'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Right.
it's one of those where I'm really excited to see the growth of her trajectory in
Oh,
Mellow.
yeah. Yeah, she'll be back. I can feel it in
Oh,
my
100%.
jellies.
Yeah.
Right, we should talk about a certain winner. So our winner of Mellow was Felicia with My System. Felicia, of course, being the former voice of Fröken Snusk, who was in the contest a few years ago. Completely come out of that due to, I mean, go and read if you want to go read Felicia's
Yeah.
story. It is quite a story. I'm not going to go over it here. But she came through in Der Toffling 4 with like a big, EDM number. Now, Molly, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to fangirl. Go.
It was so good. I honestly really enjoyed this. Everything, it came together. It was gorgeous. 4 plus 4 equals 8. There we go.
And I suppose in honor of Felicia, we should 6 7. But
Six, 7. Six,
if you haven't
7.
if you haven't seen the clip we're referring to, go on to
Yeah.
uh, um I I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit disappointed in the song, but only because like I have been loving Felicia the entirety of her releases up to this song. And while I think this song is a good song, I think a lot of her other songs are better. And so this is not like shade at this song. This is just, I like Black Widow more. I like Hard more. Like she's been an artist for 15 seconds
Yeah.
effectively as herself and has released some of the greatest bangers in the last
Mm.
6 months. And I wasn't quite as taken with this, but I am glad it's her that won. I am glad that, the staging is exemplary.
Oh,
The
it's really good.
the whole bit of her like coming
Mm.
out the screen, excited face, like there was so much thought put into that staging. It was so fresh, and you couldn't really get the scale of it at home, but like in the arena, it's just lasers everywhere. Just
Oh, yeah.
all over the place is lasers.
Just lasers.
It is like I tried to take a picture of it at one point because I was kind of at the back on the stands. So there's just this beam of light coming straight the way off the stage into the ceiling, but it's like half of the arena like is the length. It was wild.
I can imagine.
And I like her, I like her energy. I think she's going to be very interesting, like in the run up to a certain song contest that's happening in a few months' time. And I just, yeah, I think it's a song which is going to have a lot of fans
Yeah, no,
within the fandom.
100%. Yeah.
My concern is that dance music tracks like this don't always do well.
Yep, if we remember, we will rave from 2024.
We Will Rave, Halo,
Yep.
we can go back to things like Darude and stuff like that. EDM
Mm,
has never done well in the
no.
competition. Not truly, truly well.
Yeah,
Um, and
it
I want her to do so well.
mm,
And like she's a star whatever happens in May. Like, I don't think that for 1 second that, that would make anything. I mean, we might be talking bullshit. She might come in first and win everybody's hearts. Who knows?
yeah.
But I do think when you've got a jury to satisfy, and you've got all of that to think about, will it work? I don't know.
I think when it comes to Eurovision, we have a real already have a really strong like competition going. If you think Finland, France, things like that, I think she can definitely get the top five. Watch my reaction if you want to see more of my opinions, but I think she can definitely reach the top five. Top three is where it gets a bit like murky as to whether she's going to hit contender. Because like you said, I don't know, we've not really, we've seen EDM at Eurovision, but we've not seen like real, like sort of raving type staging kind of song like this. This is a proper like rave song in a way. So seeing that at Eurovision, it's going to be interesting. She even got it right to the sort of like Avatar or herself like coming out. That sounds a lot of like rave DJs that do that, and I was very surprised seeing that in
Yeah,
Mellow,
the
and I was very happy.
presentation. Yeah, the presentation as somebody who is heavily into like I am a raver, I go to clubs, and
Mm,
stuff like that. And this is what a lot of the big name DJs are doing. They are doing
yeah.
this kind of thing. Um, but I think that kind of thing is so different from putting it on stage at Eurovision.
Oh yeah.
But I did say to a friend a while back, my system is for people who love the idea of raving but want to be in bed by 9:30.
Yeah.
Um, and there's nothing wrong with that because that gives it more universal appeal. So
Mm,
this is not a critique.
yeah.
Like, it's
No.
not a real rave
Yeah.
song, and that's
It.
that's fine for Eurovision. That's actually a good thing for
Mm,
Eurovision
oh yeah. No.
because it
100%.
gives it more appeal. So this is not shade. And I Julie Bergen being one of the songwriters blew my immediately immediately when
Mm,
it got revealed.
yeah.
I think, you know, all of the songwriters brilliant, but also that was the one that made me go.
Mm,
And I think there is an avenue for this to go big,
yeah.
but
No,
I
100%.
am just a little bit cautious
Yeah,
because of
I think
things like
I'm
satisfying juries and such.
yeah. No, I think my wariness is definitely because of the competition we have currently is so strong. Whether it's going to break that ceiling is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I would love to be proved wrong. Please don't think that this is me dunking on Felicia because it isn't. This is me just being concerned. But I love her. I think this can do really well. And I think there's charisma in here. Right, quickly, one item on the wish list that you would love SVT to do for next year's Mellow.
A more diverse song range would be really nice, thank you. I think we're starting to get that in Mellow, but I'd like that a little bit more, more like some risk-taking songs. I'd like a little bit more like rock, more thingy. Yeah, more diverse range in the song list, please.
And for me, I'm going to say, please, voting needs to change.
Yeah.
I think, you had so much complication in voting and results this year. We had
Mm,
I want to shout out Wilhelm Buchhaus, who I believe she says, looking at the thing, ended up being the first person to come in third in his semi, but not go to Finalfall, which is slightly
weird.
unhinged. But that's all to
Mm,
do with the way you're calculating votes. And I
yeah.
shouldn't need like 16 pieces of paper, a whiteboard, and a maths degree to explain how voting works. Sorry, it just shouldn't be that complicated.
No,
Um,
exactly.
and you know, just just the most votes goes through, the next most votes goes through second, the next most votes goes through third. It's not that hard. I also think age groups need to go. There is no
Yeah.
need for age groups now. I know why you put it
Mm,
in, but there's actually no need for it. I think it's getting
mm,
somewhat silly. Um, and I just it's not working. Voting needs
no.
changed. It needs change ASAP. The number of votes needs to be limited. Um, at least we had a good, the new voting with Radio Helpen has hopefully resulted in more money going through Radio Helpen. And, that
Yeah.
can never be a bad thing. But
Exactly.
I do think that this all needs to be sorted out, and you need to sit there and think through it properly. And
Sit on the step.
honestly, if the answer is Finalcall disappears and we just have 15 qualifiers, that would not be terrible.
Yeah, no.
I just think that this is getting silly now. Not 15 qualifiers, however many qualifiers, extra qualifiers. Thank you. No, it would be 15. Sorry, I was wrong in the first place. Anyway, that's about all we've got time for. I can give a contact me for a more hinge rant about voting at any convenience when you've got 7 hours. Um, but thank you very much, Molly, for joining me.
You're welcome.
And you can go see Molly's reaction to my system as well in our other videos.
Yes.
If it's not there yet, it will be soon. Thank you very much for watching. We've been that Eurovision site. You can find us on all the social media. You can find us on this channel. Give us a like and subscribe. If you want to hear more from us, we have plenty more videos and plenty more interviews in the run-up to Eurovision 2026. All that remains for me to do is say thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
And we will see you on the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye bye.